Hey, Void, how you doing? So, I was delighted to find out that Tubi recently added a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie I had not seen. So, I made a point to kind of bump that one up in the list because it's a good time for me to backfill some of the staples from the big series that I haven't seen all the way through. I mean, I've seen every Nightmare on Elm Street, every Friday the 13th, every Halloween, except for the most recent. So, and most Child's Plays. I'm still missing like one of them, but it's on there. I think it's the remake. But some of them, like Candyman, I haven't admittedly seen all of. Texas Chainsaw, I haven't seen all of. So, for Texas Chainsaw, I've seen the first two. I've actually already reviewed the first one. And I've seen the 2003 remake, the prequel to the remake, and the later one that was just called Texas Chainsaw 3D. So, I have seen a fair few. But this one gives me a chance to go back towards the beginning of it and actually go for the third one. Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. And after all this time waiting and build-up, I can happily say, This one is very by the numbers. It doesn't really add anything. It's just another one. It's kind of a retread of the first one, but without the grittiness that really made that one stand out. I will say it wasn't without its merits. It has Viggo Mortensen, and that right there is a very good reason to watch it. Viggo Mortensen is delightful, especially just the way he plays Tex. So, this one does have a few obvious nods to the first one, but seems almost more or less ignore the second one, which is a little bit of... It's hard to... because they reference the events of the first one, but they don't really touch on the second. Though they kind of almost hint at it a bit. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've seen the second, and I haven't reviewed that one yet, so we'll get there at some point. But it doesn't have the gritty realism that made the first one, because the first one felt almost like watching watching like a gritty, almost to the point of being a snuff film, just because of it. The grainy grittiness just added something. And it wasn't really focused on gore, it just was more an atmosphere. The second one was so over the top into the comedic aspect, it was amazing, and ends with Dennis Hopper chainsaw fighting a guy. I'm down. Now, this one, it doesn't have the over-the-topness of the second, nor the realism of the first, or that gritty quality, so it doesn't really have anything that sets it out, other than Viggo Mortensen. Okay, so a couple is going cross-country, passing through Texas, and they stop at a gas station. After getting into an altercation with the gas station attendant, they take a shortcut that was pointed out to them by Viggo Mortensen, and end up in a deadly game of cat and mouse on the road, before stumbling across the Sawyer house. So, yeah, car driving along. This one it wrecks instead of just stopping. But I will say also they get into a crash, which gets a survivalist into it, who's definitely gives them more of a fighting chance, played by Ken Foree. His character's name is Benny, so just crossed it in my head there for a second. He's cool. He does that a lot. But for the most part, the movie's just okay. This one is also really, like, they're trying to go over the top on gore, but the censors kind of tore this one apart back in 1990, so, like, they keep cutting away if they're gonna... It's like one of those things where they're trying to go the fine line of making this approachable and be over-the-top gory, and it's just this awkward point in the middle, and it's not quite working. That said, the movie doesn't do any real missteps, but it doesn't just have any pizzazz. It's average. It's mediocre. Despite being called Leatherface, they don't even really focus on Leatherface himself too much. There's quite a few other members of the family. Tinker, who's got all these devices he's setting up, including this big ass chainsaw. They got the gas station attendant is in on it. Spoiler that Viggo Mortensen's in on it. So it's like, and then they also have a mama there. It's also a crazed little girl. So the fact that it's called Leatherface, it's in fact more of a focus on Leatherface. And we have a cool opening sequence of him kind of sewing some faces together to make a new mask. He's not really the focus here. I mean, for a while it's almost Tex being the focus. But I mean, yeah, he's present, but not as much as I would have expected. Overall, it's fine, but it's not. It doesn't take any missteps to really drop it down, but it doesn't do anything to elevate it up. So straight up the middle, it's 5 MacGuffins. It's worth seeing once, but that's about it. It's cool to see a very young Viggo Mortensen, so that's also worth kind of checking it out for. But yep, Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 3, 5 MacGuffins. It's okay. Yep.